Okay, officially, good morning. Happy Sunday. Welcome out to the Options Income Launchpad Sunday Market Insights. My name is Scott. I will be your host. Okay, let's go through, get some housekeeping matters out of the way. First and foremost, this is for education and illustrative purposes only. Nothing we do is considered or intended as a recommendation to buy or sell any security or financial product, because we're not brokers, we're not advisors, so we don't give personalized investment advice. Any decision made should always be done so at your own risk, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Okay. Oh, no, we do need that. Today's agenda, market posture. That will be both our posture as well as our AI model that we have crafted. We're seeing more convergence and similarities in what we're trying to do. It's been interesting to watch and helpful, I find. Let me know your thoughts. If there's anything you think that we should be doing differently with the way that we're handling the AI as a new experimentation of our group. Economic calendar, what do we have coming up? P.S. No. Little hint. It's Fed week. So clearly we've got that. But we'll look at the calendar. We'll see what information's coming. We'll see what sectors we think are strong, are leading, are worth maybe fleshing out our watch list a little bit more. We'll just kind of go from there. We'll build our opportunity list. I'm pulling out my note card as we speak. And yes, I use a note card for each week's watch list. Lastly, trading plan section of the week. Last week we worked on record keeping. This week we're working on analytics, which isn't really working on analytics. That's kind of the point, is if you do the record keeping, the analytics will come your way as a byproduct. Then it's just about establishing routines around how and when you evaluate the data that's getting produced for you. That'll be on the 14th. Then on the 21st. No. Sorry, that's today. On the 14th, we will have goals, improvement strategies. On the 21st, we're not going to do one because it's the end of the year, Christmas, New Year's, and basically we'll wait until 2026, and we're going to talk about trading plan prioritizations, so that rather than keep on looping like some people are, you start to just say, you know what, I've got half of my trading plan is in a really good place. I rated an 8 or higher. The other half, I've got a 3, a 5, a 6, a 7, and it's like, great. Start with the 3. Bring it up to a 6 or 7, then go to the 5. Bring it up to a 6 or 7, then go to the 6. Bring it to an 8, then go to the next 6, right? And you're just sort of moving everything rather than just stopping and looking at each other sections that you're feeling pretty good with. Go from there. I mentioned that the other day, Stephen D, actually. I mentioned that 3 exit trading plan log. Send it to me today one more time, and I will. I still, I still have on my note that I have to update the watch list. I know. It's coming. All right, let's get to it. Let's just dive right. Oh, wait a second. I just fixed this. You son of a gun. I just logged back in. Come on, you've got to be kidding me. Thinkorswim. That is not cool. Bear with me just a moment. Hey, Vladimir, good to see you. Wasn't even the right one. Okay. I hate when that happens. I know it's going to happen. That's why I check before I, start things up. And it's like, you need to unlock your account. And I unlocked it and I looked at a couple charts and I'm like, okay, we're good to go. And then the letdown. Dun, dun, dun. All right, give me a second. Let's talk about other things for a minute while this reloads. What are the other things we want to talk about? Let's talk about the calendar. What do we have coming out this week? Nothing is scheduled for Monday. On Tuesday, we get a minor job optimism index. Nobody cares. And we get delayed. This is from October. We get October job openings. Normally, we would have gotten this the first week of November. So it's about 5 weeks behind. Normally, so we're 5 weeks behind on job openings. What else do we have? Then we have the rate decision. The meeting starts Tuesday. They announce on Friday. Starts on Tuesday. They announce Wednesday. And then Jer Bear gives his conference half hour after the initial announcement. Of course, it's running slow. Thursday, standard jobless claims. They're in a pretty good spot, actually. Jobless claims. They're in a pretty good spot. Bear with me while I get this logged in. Hello to those of you popping in. Good to see you all. Thursday, jobless claims. Friday, nothing. Just some Fed speak, which we never really care about Fed speak when it's when it's right after the rate decision. Monday. No, not Monday. Friday. Oh, yeah, we already said Friday. So there's not much. I'm looking to see when the next chunk of... wait a second. What am I in here? I opened the wrong one. Son of a gun. Sorry. Let me try one more time. Okay. Thursday the 16th. So we're getting caught up. This was supposed to come out on the 5th of December, and it won't be out until the 16th. So that is 11 days behind, about a week and a half. We'll get November employment report. Non-farm payrolls is what we mean there. Okay, sorry. Let me bring this over. Live trading. Oy vey. Okay. So we'll get some of that data, and then we'll get November CPI, and we'll see, if inflation is staying at or below 3%, which it seems to be. Go from there. Got it. All right. Let's take a quick peek at our Fed watch now that we are on the cusp. Just a few days away. The number is staying in the high 80s, 86%. I want to just take one quick peek at January. Let me see. 350 to 375. Okay, so the same almost people who think it's not happening in December think it's not happening even in January. There's a 65% chance. This doesn't even make sense to me. Okay, 65% chance that it stays the same. So basically, you've got a small fraction of people who think there's going to be another cut, but overall, one cut and then we'll see is kind of the thought process there. Okay, I have real-time data. Let me get this over. Sorry about that, everyone. Not that we really need real-time data on an off day, but this is where my watch list is. So let's get this set up. I still want the 50 and the 100. I should probably save that as a study set too. But it's all right. We'll just knock it out real fast here. Let's go 100 as red. That's what we've been used to. And let's go 200 at blue. That's what we're used to. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's get going. What's my read here? I believe I'm higher than almost anyone else. There may be a couple people who are with me. I have scored this at a 1.5. I did so because back here in this area, I'm like, hey, you know what? If this thing gets all the way up to the red line, I'm going to go ahead and without going back below it. And it didn't. It got there and then it went up and it hit it. I said, I'm going to move it to 1.5. I did. Then it dropped. I said, if it penetrates it, like closes below it, I'll take it away. It didn't. If it bounces, I'll keep it. If it bounces, it's got to go up to this line and through it. It's got to go through now. If it gets up to this line and stalls or stalls before it gets there and starts to roll over, the second I get that roll over, I'm like, nope, it didn't do it, and I'll drop my score. So it's kind of living on borrowed time for me. Other people may have it at a 1.25, and I totally get that. That's what these red lines are, is 1.25. But I think that we got there fast enough that I think there's a little more. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I'm going to keep mine at 1.5 because it did bounce. Has it stalled? I mean, it's slowing down, but it's still green. Still looks like it's heading that way. So I'm going to give it that opportunity. All right, Steve C says same for him. Let's go get into our this week's chart for analysis. And today is 12/07/25. Shaboom. Okay. Kept at 1.25. All right. Fair enough. ChatGPT says unchanged. It advanced, confirming support at the mid-channel line. Strong and orderly, but not steep enough to match the green-blue 1.5 calibration. The structure continues to display institutional control. Multiple EMAs aligned upward. No evidence of deterioration in long-term rhythm. It remains robust and intact, showing renewed buying interest off support by maintaining the slope. That's a great summary. Couldn't have said it better myself. I kept mine at 1.5. I kind of thought ChatGPT would keep theirs at the... Wait, what? What did I just do? Decides how long to think. That's what I want. Oh, I didn't even realize. Thinking, instant, legacy models. Okay. We'll leave it at auto. However, I don't... Oh, all right. I'm already back there. Let's get to posture. Copy, insert, 1207, 1.5 for me, 1.25 for ChatGPT. Okay, fair. I'm a one on the short term. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, we did push a little higher than the previous weeks. Barely, but we didn't get to like actual new highs. It's pretty stalled out. I'm going to leave mine the same at a 1. I'm a 1. I don't see enough to make a change. Let me know if you see that differently. If you think, oh no, there's something there. Scott, did anyone change theirs? Where are you at with the 6-month daily? Let me know. Let's grab this and let's pull it in here. That is 1207 25 25. Boom. Ready, go. Steve is a 1. Sandy's a 1. Stephen D raised his, oh goodness, to a 1.25 with rising slope and continued momentum. The short-term trend strengthened, continuing its rebound with a clean series of higher highs and higher lows. Oh, I don't know. Higher highs and higher lows meaning day to day, I think is what ChatGPT means. But we don't really look at highs and lows day to day. Highs and lows are peaks and troughs. I do think it needs some calibration. A decisive breakout through that zone would justify a 2, while a stall under 680. I'm going to calibrate it. I'm going to have a chat this week, but I'm going to leave it score as is. I'm going to leave it score as is, that it got a 1.75. It's going to help us. I'm going to mark it though. Let's mark this with a nice pale yellow that says, that's something we might need to calibrate a little bit more. It's kind of a... Actually, I'm going to ask it one follow-up. Because a 0.5 point jump on this right here, we actually dropped on the first day, paused on the second, up, pause. I'm going to ask. It's worth an ask. Plus 0.5 with only minimal price movement gained. Seems like that may be too generous. What do you think, you silly model? Okay, I accept the revised score. It says you're right to question that. The magnitude is modest, the structure improved, but not dramatically. That's overstated compared to the rhythm. Okay, I accept 1.5. It improved, but marginally. Small, tight, small body candles. Okay, yes. Yes. 1 point. I'm gonna take away the yellow. That might be all the calibration it needs. We'll see. That's the one I thought about last week too, actually. Maybe I'll mark this yellow. This is the one that I'm a little concerned needs some calibration. All right, let's go to volume. How do we see it? I see no change. This is too far. Let's get this back in line. 2, 7. Okay. I've got a tie. Then I've got this series of data here. Even this was close. It was a tie. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cells, 2 ties, and a buy. Now, next week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to lose 1 cell. And then 2 more of them are going to be old. Then I can drop it back to a 0 or raise it back to a 0. And here's what's interesting. The slope line is, if I start here and end here, it is slightly up. It's pretty mixed. But I'm still going to give it the same score that I had, no unchanged, because this data is still consistent for 1 more week. If it moves over, then it's going to be there. But for me, I am staying at a 0 now. Let's take a quick, or not at a 0, a minus 0.25. Sorry, same as Steve C, minus 0.25. Okay, so let's grab this. Sandy's is 0, so I'm a minus 0.25. And let's go into volume. This week's chart for analysis. 12:07:25. Okay. Ready, go. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty mixed. You would be hard pressed to give it any positive. There's just 1 candle above average with buyers. And it was really a recovery day, not like anything else. But overall, I think we're seeing enough to sustain it. This week features a fresh above average. Nope. Recheck that one. There were no fresh above average. So here's what it thought. It thought he saw a B. The B's back here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 2 weeks ago Friday. Actually, it's more because we had a day off in there, I believe. So that's 2 weeks ago. There was no new above average volume bars this week, so it should not. Blah, blah, blah. Corrected score, 0. There were no new above average, so no new conviction were generated. I wonder if I should actually like help it see the split. It's fine for now. I'm going to come back to this one. I don't know what it means. Add a meta node on low volume and how they affect conviction scoring. Okay. I mean, I didn't see enough, no matter what, to see any change there. So I'm still a minus 0.25. ChatGPT still a 0. Let's go on to major market scoring. And let's get rid of this line. Let's make sure that we're reloaded and we're pushed all the way over. What do we see? I see the NASDAQ on top. I see the Russell in second. I see the SPY in third. I see the diamonds in last. That right there, that's bullish looking. That's a bullish start, a foundation of it being bullish. Let me bring this down, make sure it knows this is 200. Okay. Now we're going to go to major market. And we'll put the first one in. Let's drop down to 133. Make sure it's always pushed all the way over. I'm sure I would have had someone remind me if I didn't remind you. But make sure we're all the way to the edge. What do we have? NASDAQ on top. Russell has fought its way back up. It's not quite in a leading, but it's right there. S&P in the middle. Dow at the bottom. This right here. If I had more of this, if this is all I had, I'd be like, this is a 1. This is as strong as it gets with the NASDAQ and the Russell leading and the S&P in the middle, the Dow behind. So, okay. That's number 2. Whoops. Good, looking good so far. I agree, Bob Rowland. Kept yours at 0.75. Okay, so I'm curious what the 66 looks like. So the 66 has the NASDAQ leading. The Russell just shot itself from a lagging position into a third position. It got very close, couldn't quite make it. And the Dow is lagging in the last position. So, yeah, I agree. It's good. It's not quite good enough to get a 1. Am I not all the way? Oh, Bob Rowland, always saving me. Always saving me. Actually, never mind. Now that I see this, it wasn't quite. Then it had a little pullback and then it bounced up. I feel like it's there. I feel like it got back into a 1. I'm going to say I'm like 75% there, 25% not. So I'm on the fence, but not like 50-50. Let's see what the 25 tells us. Let's see if it can tell. Oh, I need to take a picture of this one first. Sorry. Hold on. Let's get a quick snapshot of this. And let's load it into our model here. Okay, let's go to the 22. Let's make sure it's all the way over. And on the 22, the Russell's in the lead. Yeah, I think it warrants back to a 1. I didn't think it was going to, but it did for me. I'm a 1. Let's see. If ChatGPT, our AI model that we have built for our market posturing, agrees. 1. To this week's charts for analysis. 12:07:25. Oops, I'll put that one twice. And go. Woo, okay, what are your picks? I think it might stay at 0.75, but I feel like it should go to a 1. Let's see what it says. Oh, it went to the 1. It went to a 1. Like us. The NASDAQ and Russell are once again leading decisively, with the Russell showing a strong recovery surge that moved it back. Okay. Broad-based strength across both large and small caps. Structurally bullish. A classic risk-on signal. Love it. This represents a textbook bullish posture, strong participation, aligned leadership, confirmation across all our primary time frames. Oh, ChatGPT, you summarize things so well. All right. We're in pretty good lockstep here. You're a 1, I'm a 1. You're a half a point ahead of me. Where are they ahead of me at? Short term. That's where they're ahead. There, short term. All right, let's do sector rotation. Let's do sector rotation. Boom. And this is one of the weaker areas. So what the strength we have in major market, nope, this is not where I'm heading, is offset by the lack, not weakness. It's not weakness, but it's a lack of strength on sector rotation. So let's grab a quick screenshot of this. Boom. Boom. Let's analyze it. NASDAQ never faltered. It dropped, but never faltered, and then it's recovered. So I'm good with that. That should maybe be enough to at least get me a quarter of a point alone. Industrials popped its head above the S&P. So it's like, hey, look. And communication services got close. So there's two that are close, and they're both growth. Here's utilities dropping. That's good. Who else is climbing? Discretionary. That's good to see. Healthcare's falling. Financials are climbing. Energy's climbing. Materials dropping. Staples dropping. Okay. This looks like it could be oriented around a quarter of a point score. Sandy said yes. Let's go to 133. And let's get this ready to go. 1, 2, 3. What do we see here? We see, again, technology busting its way back up into the lead. Fabulous. Healthcare dropping. Okay, who's close? Communication services. Communication services is close. Right? Hence us wanting to put a Google trade on. We see something there. Energy, no. Discretionary, trying. Industrials, trying. Okay, so only the one with one close, but I can give a quarter of a point for only technology. I can give a quarter of a point for only technology. Let's get a snapshot of this. Let's post you in to our model. Yeah, I think that is worth a quarter of a point. The fact that healthcare's dropping the way that it is, and technology's rising, plus we have a couple of things that are trying down here, I'm going to give it that quarter of a point back. I thought it might be able to get that quarter of a point. I don't even need to see the 22. We'll go look at the 22. I don't need to. But let's put that in there. Let's see if ChatGPT agrees. We'll get the 22 because that's part of the analysis. It's a little iffier here, right? It's a little bit more of a mixed bag, but I'm okay with the mixed bag. I saw what I needed to see for momentum on the other time frames. This is not necessarily exclusionary. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. We're getting close. Then we're going to go build our watch list. Doing well on time. I'm telling you, this inclusion of the AI, Bob Rowland had it right. He says it keeps you focused. I think he's right. Okay. ChatGPT said no. They're keeping its score 0. Why? The 66 shows no coherent growth leadership. It's improving, but still without support from some growth partners. No discretionary communication services. I do need to remind it about financials and industrials, but they're also not there. Utilities is stuck. Healthcare is drifting, but not dominant. It remains fragmented, not favoring either risk on or risk off. Okay, fair. That's fair. Others did the same. Steven kept his at minus 0.25. To qualify for 0.25, we need tech, discretionary, communications. I'm going to give it a little note. I agree with your assessment and am comfortable with your logic. But going forward, don't forget about financials and or industrials as growth sector contributors for next week's scoring. A little calibration before we move on. I'll look at the short term and do maybe an offline calibration. There we go. Financials could surge, industrials, blah, blah. Yes. All right. Good calibration. Good calibration. Let's move on to... Okay, so ChatGPT stayed 0. I'm at a 0.25. Last but not least, volatility. Look at us. We're within a quarter of a point. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I actually feel like there is another quarter of a point to be had here on the VIX. This is going to be an interesting one. But, so I never, when we looked at this here, it never gave a turn point because it actually didn't close above that high. And then the next day it didn't, and then the next day it didn't, and then the next day it didn't, and ultimately this happened. And so the question that I'm asking myself and that I think I need to... Now, here's the thing. Definitely, this is lower than all of this. So for that, I'm going to give it 0.25. I'm going to give it at least a 0.25. But here, the question is, did we miss assigning that a lower high? Or was this all just one big move down? If you think that this was a high, then you're going to give it another 0.25. If you think it was not, it was just a blip but never actually went up, down for a high, then you're going to say no. So if yes, you would be a 0.5 total. If no, a 0.25 total. It's definitely rising up at least a quarter of a point, maybe a half a point. Thoughts on that. Now, I'm kind of leaning towards like, hey, you know what? Let's let ChatGPT decide. Let's let ChatGPT be a tiebreaker. I'm saying I think it's at least 0.25 better, maybe 0.5 better. And I think that if ChatGPT says 0.5, I'm going to go with it. If it says 0.25, I'm going to go with it. So let's put this in. I do not include indicators, only the price itself. Steve, you're good with that? Letting ChatGPT break the tie? This week's chart for analysis. 12:07:25. Okay. Let's see. Your overall score raised from 1.5 to 3.75. Okay. Ready to go. I am at least going to be a 4. Possibly a 4.25. And we'll see what ChatGPT thinks as well. Score 0.5. Okay. I'm leaving it. I said I'm going to go with ChatGPT. It said only scored at a 0.5. Not the score is plus 0.5, not they're scoring at 0.5 more. You can see the continuity note says it's up a quarter of a point from last week. It continued its decline, closing near 15.4, breaking below moving averages. Confirms a decisive unwind in institutional hedging activity. It's returned to a calm, low-fear regime with option premiums nearing their cheapest levels in a month, an environment generally supportive of bullish behavior. Again, ChatGPT summarizes so well. So well. Now, if we can get below 15, that would maybe justify 0.75, signaling a full return to a low volatility environment. That's a great read. Super helpful. So ChatGPT moved up by this much. By 0.5. Okay, so I am a 4. What got better this week? Major market got better. Sector rotation got better. Volatility got better. I went from a 3.25 to a 4. ChatGPT agreed. Actually, it got better on short term. It got better on major market and got better on volatility, but not sector rotation. So there is our final. What does that tell us? I feel good. I mean, look, we've got the Fed in front of us. Expectations for a half a point or for a quarter of a point cut. Don't fight the Fed. There's accommodation there, dovishness there. The institutions seem to have moved into a place of stability. Oh, there it is. We've had some good signals showing up as we looked Friday. If you didn't get to attend, you hopefully will go back and watch. But there was some. We'll see them now too. But there's some good looking things for our watch list this week. So there it is. I'm feeling pretty comfortable with that. Let's go. Let's go hit it. All right. Starting at the top, Apple. Hell yeah! Look at Apple setting up. Beautiful. Beautiful setup. That could be any day. Nice flag. Could be a little more. Could start to turn. AMKR. I'm going to put it on my list, but that one's a little early still. It's a big mover, so it could still go. Amazon on the list. Some people traded this early move bouncing off the 200 and made a little bit. Great. I'm happy. But for me, it's this break of this consolidation. Now we're getting this kind of higher low range. Anything in there makes me think we've got some ability to start popping, and that's when we maybe make a move back up to that old high near 250, 255. So Amazon on the list. APH, no, it's too flat. Didn't get enough. Yeah, now we're starting to see some of this. So we're going to leave that one alone. ASX on a pullback, I would still be okay with that one. AVGO. AVGO, that would have been, you can see a pinch on your stochastics down here. You can see that it's turning from a price level. If this was a flag, I'd be thinking about trading it. What's the only problem? You just don't have time. You only have a couple of days. If you traded that flag and said, I'm trading that flag for just a couple of days, I'd be like, yeah, okay, good on you. That's valid. That's a valid trade. But not for us now. AXP. AXP, it had like a chunky V. So it dropped, and then it got back most of it, then a little pause and got the rest of it. Chunky V. I think it's fine now on a pullback, but it does need to pull back. Let's still put it on our list, but we need to see something additional from that. BAC is the same kind of a thing. I think that the leaders in financials have put us back into a place, Citi, look at Citi, that makes it stronger. Caterpillar, same thing. Love to see a leader in industrials do this, get to a new high. All we need now is minor pullback, and we've got a trade. And we have a trade. CIEN, I'm going to say no now. It's a little bit less desirable. CLS, I'm going to say the same thing. Both of those are a little bit kind of under the water in these types of consolidations, right? I could draw the same lines almost for both of them, and they're both going to show that same thing. Coherent looks great. Coherent looks great. It's overextended. If it flags, it could be a pattern. That could be this week, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on the list. Credo. Oh, yeah. Come on down. Come on down. You are the next contestant on The Trade is Right. Cisco. Yeah, we got what we wanted. It started to turn. It's moving. We'd like to see this keep going. Catch a little momentum, and we'll be fine. We'll see what happens early next week. Delta. I like Delta. Consumer discretionary. Let's give me a little pullback. Volume low. Yes, but I remember trend is in favor. I don't need volume when trend is in favor. I need volume if I'm breaking something, if I'm reversing something. But once I have trend, it's the same thought process, Stephen. It's a great comment. It's the same thought process with trend and volume in our market analysis. We're bullish even if there's no volume, if what? If the trend is in place, right? And the trend is even scored more favorably. So I agree with you, but I'm okay with low volume. It can move without volume as long as it's more buyers than sellers. What we need volume for is when we're breaking something or reversing something, then we'll be a little bit more discriminate. Diamonds, Fox. I'd say Fox still looks good. It's communication services. We're seeing some things there. I'll put that down. First Solar, yes. I still like First Solar. First Solar's giving me one of those little mini cup and handles. Little mini cup and handle above the 50 where it comes down and it gives me something like this. A mini cup and handle would actually also be considered a ascending triangle. And if we break the ascending triangle, we're actually looking for this chunk to move over here. Anyway, First Solar is a yes. GE is a no. Gold is a no. GM is a yes, but I need a pullback. I like the momentum. Consumer discretionary. I like it. Google, yes. We consider this a break of the flag. We're also starting to get maybe confirmation of an actual Normal bounce here. If we can catch just a little more, that's going to turn, and then we think this thing should go. I like the way Google's looking. Goldman, yes, but needs a pullback. GTX, I'm going to leave that one off. Howmet, off. IBM, I'll leave that on. But it's gotta materialize now. Intel, yes, on this pullback, could be turning into something for us. Intel and Micron seem to be two of our stronger. There's strength in small caps. JCI, I'm looking for a double hiccup bounce, and I would definitely take that one. JNJ still looks good, still looks tradable. JNJ. Lumentum, way overextended. That's a tough one. It's very volatile. Let's put it on the list, but it is volatile. Got to have the stomach for it. Eli Lilly, maybe still, but I'm going to put Johnson & Johnson instead. LRCX, on a pullback, I would still like Lam Research. Macy's, maybe on a pullback. Consumer discretionary. MasterCard is a no. Meta is a yes on a pullback. Morgan Stanley, yes on a pullback. Microsoft is a no. Micron is a yes, and maybe setting up even as we speak. Netflix, no. Nvidia, not yet. Next, not yet. Palantir on the next pullback. On the next pullback. The Real. I still feel okay. It's on its last leg. We had a good start, which allowed us to kind of hang on a little bit here. And I might even, add more for a new trade if it turns from here. If it doesn't, I'm going to close out. It was still around break even, I believe. I can't remember exactly now. Roku. Ooh, that's interesting, but not yet. Ross Stores on a pullback. I would say yes. I would take that. Give me a little minor pullback there. RTX is a no. Silver is strong still. Strong. SanDisk. This is now breaking this consolidation. So it's going to be a little while still. I'll still wait one more week before I put that one on. Snowflake is a no. In fact, Snowflake got battered on earnings. I'm getting rid of that. It's off the list. SoFi, maybe. SPY, okay. STX. These are. I love Teradyne. I just need to see a potential to get in. Put it on the list. TJX. Let's put it on the list, but that was kind of a big entry for what we were looking for. Tesla, no. I mean, yes, if you like it. I don't put Tesla on my list. TSM. Actually, I'll put it on for everybody else. Some people love trading Tesla. Tesla, yes. UUP, no. That's just the bullish dollar index. There's the VIX. There's W. That's barely hanging on. WBD, we got the news. We got the news that the buyout is on potentially. Now, the government is kind of looking at this one. So, you could start to take a little profit off, see if it has a little bit more to go. Worked out pretty well. It's just be careful with the news, and if the government comes out and they're like, we're not going to let this go through, that could impact that. So there's no done deal or safety here. Be managing this one. I saw Glenn post an update on this one. It was great advice to be managing, be thinking about that. WDC. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I like Teradyne better than both of those. Walmart on a pullback. I'll put WDC on. I'll put Walmart on. Strong list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 32. Anytime you're 25 or above, man, you should have a nice bullish market that you're in. Bob Rowland says, what about our DDT? Ooh, Reddit back. Ooh, we watched Reddit and traded Reddit. Yeah, absolutely. That's done enough that I think the buyers have back in. If it pulls back and holds, 100%. 100%. Okay. Lastly, real quickly, as far as our trading plan, we're now on analytics, and you might think, whoa, there's a lot here. There's not. What there is if you do number 6, you automatically get number 7. What do I mean by that? I mean that if you fill out all of this here in the trade log, you get this dashboard, which will automatically give you all those variables. It'll help you to see patterns as you go from block 1 to block 2 to block 3 to block 4. People say, what do you do with the log when you get to 100? I start over at 1. I process and close that 100 trades. I want to process it and be like, what have I learned? What am I doing that's good? What do I need to do that's better? What can I learn from this that I can carry forward into the next block of 100 trades? Yeah. Makes sense? So, get your record keeping. Remember the quote. This is a quote that I feel like should motivate us all into better record keeping. Show me a good record keeper, and I'll show you a good trader. That's all I need to hear. That is all I need to hear. So there it is. Posture is set. Looking pretty good. Nice improvement. Watch list is set. We got a number of strong candidates on our list. We're all set to finish this year with the Santa Rally. I feel it. Come on, Santa. Come on down. All right. It's great to see everybody. I will see you in less than 24 hours. 21 hours. A little over 21 hours. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday. I'll see you tomorrow morning. As always, happy trading.